Welcome to the most important human rights movement on the planet.
Religious freedom was the first right placed into the Bill of Rights. It protected the dignity of the individual and set the foundation for American identity. This is the International Religious Freedom Summit, where the world gathers to defend the first right.
People from vastly different experiences, countries, faith communities, coming together with deep mutual respect. So many of the things I look and hope to for a better world, I see here in those of you who make this summit possible.
America was founded on the ideal of religious freedom and the belief that every single person has inalienable rights. Every single person has inestimable dignity and value. And the state doesn't have the authority or the capacity to judge or transform the soul.
Religious freedom is this defining issue between a free and open society. You can look at this issue and determine that.
Protecting religious freedom is directly tied to peace and stability.
Centuries of bloodshed have led us to this conviction that freedom of religion or belief is for everybody, regardless of religion, non-religion, and all matters of conscience.
It's also very clear, and the data bears this out, that countries and societies that protect their religious freedom are more likely to be safe and prosperous, and countries that do not protect religious freedom are less likely to be stable. So it is an essential part of our foreign policy, and we see evidence for that all around the world.
Most of the world does not have the freedom to practice their faith.
80% of people alive today, over 6 billion, live under restrictions on their ability to practice or express their faith. We all lose out on the contributions that religious minorities and other persecuted groups would make if they have the liberty to live out their lives.
Authoritarian governments use legal systems, surveillance tools, and propaganda to persecute people of faith and spread false information that distorts the truth about targeted communities.
Persecution of religious minorities is very often the result of the instrumentalization or abuse of religion by those in power in order to justify authoritarian rule. The Holocaust did not begin in the gas chambers, it began with words. So there's a very real consequence to allowing religious hatred and persecution to go unchecked. And of course, much of my experience has shaped my thinking on this. I'm a member of the persecuted Baha'i minority in Iran. My family has been in exile since the revolution in 1979. And that was a classic example of authoritarian, totalitarian regime instrumentalizing religion in a way which has actually nothing to do whatsoever with the true tenets, in this case, of Islam.
When we speak about religious freedom currently in the world, there is almost no greater case of religious persecution than the Baha'is in its home country of Iran.
At the conference, across its various spaces, speakers shared personal experience and documented evidence of how state authorities in Iran have used the legal system to persecute the Baha'is.
Since the 1979 revolution, hundreds of Baha'is have been killed, most by execution by the government.
Persecution was carried out openly. Hundreds were arrested, tortured, and executed by firing squad or hanged, while others were murdered outside their homes with no consequences for the perpetrators. The alarm was sounded across the world, raising pressure on Iran to stop secret executions and lawless attacks.
Baha'i do not have rights under Iranian law.
In Iran, 16 members of the Baha'is that we know about were hanged.
Baha'i National Spiritual Assembly. All but one are now dead, executed, or missing and presumed dead. And resolutions of concern have been expressed by the European Parliament, by the United Nations Human Rights Commission, by the United States Congress, which held hearings into the executions last year.
This is perhaps in the world the most pure example of religious intolerance, and it's one that the world, including the United States, ought to address as strongly as possible.
The government of Iran is engaged in rampant religious persecution, especially against Baha'is. Since 1979, 198 Baha'is have been put to death, 767 are imprisoned, some 10,000 made homeless, and over 25,000 forced to flee their country. Only the continued world outcry can help bring an end to their suffering.
There are accounts of people who were told by judges, if it wasn't because of the world, we would have gotten rid of all of you.
The Iranian government had to change tactics. Rather than taking their lives, they arrested Baha'is in the thousands and did all they could to suppress them and block their economic development.
The Islamic Republic tries to very quietly create a kind of civil death for Baha'is by denying them their property, their education, their opportunities to live a normal life.
In 1991, a confidential memo clearly outlined the levels of persecution. It wrote, "The government's dealings with them must be in such a way that their progress and development are blocked. They must be denied employment. They must be expelled from universities once it becomes known that they are Baha'is."
Numerous laws have been precisely crafted in order to discriminate, in order to exclude, in order to violate.
Using various theological constructs which declared them as a wayward sect outside of the protection of the law.
The use of the judiciary, and in fact the use of a wide variety of parts of the government of bureaucracy, has become part of the modernization of the oppression of religious freedom.
For decades, Baha'is in Iran have been arrested under fabricated charges and routinely labeled as threats to national security. In court documents, among the evidence cited for these acts is the studying of Ruhi Institute materials, the name given to study guides used to read and discuss Baha'i writings, focused on the betterment of the world. In October 2025, Iran passed an act declaring that any action or cooperation in political, cultural, media, and propaganda activities contrary to national security will be punishable by death or 10 to 15 years in prison. This act is designed to provide legal cover for harsh sentences, allowing the judiciary to continue punishing Baha'is under false accusations.
We have to keep up the pressure. We have to continue to scrutinize this campaign of persecution.
Despite sustained attacks, the Baha'is in Iran have remained committed to peaceful living and social development. They continue, where possible, to contribute to the progress of their homeland. Sustained attention and international scrutiny are critical to preventing imminent escalation.
Do not grow weary in well-doing, because in due time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. Don't give up on freedom.